Welcome back to Ireland AM, now a talented actor and comedian. You might recognise our next guest from Derry Girls, or as a regular panellist. She has just absolutely changed the blame game. Love it.
Loving it. And currently touring with her new stand-up show. We're delighted to be joined by Diona Doherty. Good morning to you.
Morning.
How are you?
Morning, how are you?
Thanks for joining us this morning. We were talking about Derry Girls there, and we were chatting there, and your lovely accent, and I think it's a gorgeous accent, and you never even got to use it in Derry Girls.
Isn't that what's the funny thing about acting? People say it to me all the time, like, you don't sound from Derry in Derry Girls, that's so weird. And I'm all, I know, but I auditioned for the Ukrainian part. That's what happened. Funnily enough, I remember being on a train from like Derry to Belfast, I think it was, just after Derry Girls had come out, and a man came over to me and went, "Do you need directions?" And I was like, "I'm from here." You know? I was like, "Well done on the accent."
Do you still have the Ukrainian accent?
Absolutely not.
I did it one day. That's it. Nothing to do with that. It's interesting when a show like that kind of blows up, because recently Nadine was talking about Nicola Coughlan basing her accent on hers and being like, I don't know if
Did
it was
you see the shade?
Yes.
Oh my God. I was like, Nadine, that is not how we behave in Derry.
She said, she was like, I don't think that Nicola Coughlan's accent was that good, after Nicola Coughlan being like,
Yeah, she said she watched videos of me to try and do the Derry accent. She went, I think she should have watched some more.
What you make of that?
Oh, I mean, we love Nadine. Nadine and I went to the same school.
Oh, did you?
No, she was 5 years older than me, and I remember I told people all the time that we knew each other after she got famous, because I wasn't living in Derry anymore. I was in Belfast, and I was like, yeah, me and Nadine, like that. And then I did a comedy show in the north for the BBC called Soft Border Patrol, and in like series 3 or something, they brought Nadine in as a special guest for an episode, and I was all, I need to tell everybody I don't know her, before they're like, your mate's on this. I'm like, who? So yeah,
love it.
Well, you
cut out.
Well, you gotta went to the same school. It's almost the same thing. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. You're best friends.
We were in a play together. She had a lead part, and I was like a tree or something. But yeah,
it's really bad when you're the younger. They never know the younger ones, but you're always going to know what a great claim to fame before it all starts. You're doing more, right? Because I see you on my algorithm all the time. I listen to your podcast, all the comedy. I love it. You lighten my life. But the acting is going off. You're in the new series of Blue Lights.
I am.
BAFTA winning.
BAFTA winning Blue Lights.
Listen, is it a coincidence?
They waited to win the BAFTA before you appeared.
I certainly wasn't going to be in a non-BAFTA show. But what a great time to join the show.
Fair play to them, though. That was a huge coup for them.
And I think it's one of the best things that's ever been made in the North. It's absolutely brilliant. It's gripping. I am such a fan of the show, and I remember saying to my husband, like, we binge watched the last 2 series, and I was like, I will stand in the background of this and be a tree again. I will do anything in this show. So I was so excited to get to audition for a really cool part in the next series. And I've shot it, and it went brilliantly, and I'm very excited.
It went brilliantly. Can you come back for season 4? We can't ask. We won't know. We'll have to find out. Listen, it's absolutely smashing it. In between all of that time, of course, you have got your brand new touring show.
Yeah.
Get Your Pink Back. Tell us about this.
Get Your Pink Back is... So the concept for the show came from a video I'd seen online last year. It was about flamingos, and how that when flamingos, and this is a fact, when the mums or the dads have baby flamingos, they drain from their bright pink colour to a pale white, because they're like giving their baby flamingos all of their nutrients, all of their energy, all of their money and all. I don't know what they're giving them, but they're shattered. So they go pure.
So if you see a white flamingo, they've just had little babies.
They've been up doing night feeds. They've been changing nappies. They're shattered. But they do get their pink back eventually when their wee chicks get bigger. And I thought, wow, that is a perfect analogy for where I'm at in my life. My kids are just turned 4 and almost 2. And I was like, who am I now? I have no idea. So the concept for this show was trying to find the comedy in me getting my pink back.
So how do you find mining your own children to basically take the mickey out of them in order for you to make people laugh?
I just hope they never see any of the stuff I say.
Too late, it's online.
I know, but sometimes you're like, oh, I shouldn't say that, and then you're like, I need jokes, everything goes, I don't care. Yeah.
I need some material.
Yeah.
Do something so I can talk about you tonight on the show.
Like I even talk about in my show about how I had a lovely childhood and very loving, supportive parents, which is awful for comedy because I need material and I have no trauma. And
we're speaking about material, then you're talking about your kids, because your husband then, Sean Hegarty, I mean, so the two of you like do stand up for each other and go, what do you think of this? Is this funny?
I mean, we don't get the microphone out and turn the lights down and get a spotlight on, but we definitely do run material past each other. And there has been times, thank you very much, there has been times where we have done the same jokes on stage by accident because we live the same lives and we have the same kids, and that happens. And one time he came back and was all, did a cracker joke the night, new joke, worked really well, and he told me it, and I was like, I've been doing that for 3 months. And he was like, what? And obviously it's like artistic integrity. Like, we're like having like bare knuckle fight. Who owns this joke?
Who owns the joke?
Yeah. You're like I give birth to them. I own the joke.
You will own the joke for, in perpetuity. I remember I was always told, it was at the Christmas dinner table, it was like my brother saying, shut up, mistake. And my mother saying, no, she's not a mistake, she's a lovely accident. But, you know, it's just lovely. It gives you filtered sense. Yeah. You're not akin to saying that about your daughter.
Can't accidentally take 2 flights and pay 15 grand to make your kids in a lab. Mm-hmm. That is something that is very well organised and orchestrated. Yeah, both of my kids are through IVF. Yeah.
And you have said to your daughter, like, if she gives out to you about anything?
Oh, she will go back to the lab. I have the receipt. I genuinely remember one day looking through like all my documents going, I have a receipt for these two. Isn't that wild? I'll do all through our teenage years. I'll just be getting it out.
100%.
How was that experience for you?
I think we, in this country in general, I think Irish people tend to use humour to deal with darker times and things that should be difficult. And I am very lucky in that I had my kids in the end, so I see that brilliant.
Yes.
You know, I don't feel like it was too traumatic for me. I had my kids in the end. But I remember literally like sitting on the airport on the way to go do my first round of IVF. We did ours in the Czech Republic, much cheaper. Really good rates as well, like really good success rates. And also
good success. What more could you
sunny.
want?
It was sunny the first time I went. It was a holiday. So I remember sitting in the airport going, I got to write some jokes because I got to make this money back. These kids are expensive before they're even born. So it is a difficult and challenging experience, obviously, and I don't ever want to like undermine that for people who go through that, and it's very difficult and traumatic, and they don't ever get what they want at the end. But I do talk about it a bit in my show, and I think sometimes as a comedian, when you have experienced something, you have the right to then point the fun at the bits that you found funny.
Yeah, which is certainly something that you do. You were one of the panellists in the last couple of years on The Blame Game, which is it's on BBC Northern Ireland. Yourself, Neil Delamere is always on, and Colin Murphy really goes for the gullet now these days. It's just great.
And you want to see the stuff that doesn't make it?
I would just imagine like some of the stuff about politicians. I'm just sitting there going, but you also talk about your children, and you have talked about childcare costs. Let's take a look at Diona going after her kids once again on The Blame Game.
I have 2 kids, and basically childcare, the model works like this. You arrive at the childcare centre, you hand them your children, you hand them 95% of your wages, and they hand you a viral infection. That's how it works. And I'm pretty sure those daycare centres have like a policy where they won't throw out any children's art, no matter how it is. Like, genuinely, I get sent home one day, opened my daughter's bag, 14 pages. 14 pages of art, right? And the front one definitely done by a teacher because I could make out what it was. The other 12 pages in the middle just had like one squiggly line on each one that collectively would have been a lovely rainbow, but individually disappointing. And the last page, genuinely, all my life, just a dot. And I have seen better dots. I respect that dot.
You respect? Did you have to put them up, or they go straight in the bin? Recycling.
I mean, if any parent is being honest with themselves, 99% of that art goes in the bin. No, how you can't keep it all? Think of the trees.
You got to recycle.
Oh, we are. Can you recycle crayon? I
don't know. Let's pretend that you can.
How old are Winter and Rocky?
Rocky's nearly 2 and Winter is 4.
Okay.
Her art has gotten much better.
Does the rainbow go on one page now?
On what? No. It doesn't. It goes on the walls.
You're going to be heading away. You're doing a month in Edinburgh at the Fringe. That is hardcore.
It is hardcore. It's a lot, obviously. You're doing your show every day and you do lots of other gigs and it's physically demanding, but it's also an absolute joy. It's, you know, I get to stand on stage every night and hopefully make people laugh. And nighttime, no, sorry, my show's at like 10 to 3 in the afternoon because I like to be in bed by about 8:30, so it's not at nighttime.
It's your day shows.
A lot of comedians, and I hear them, like, they go out and they hand out their flyers and everything, and it's it's very hands-on. When
Yes.
like people say, oh, I'm going to the Edinburgh Fringe, but it's like
I have outsourced that.
Oh,
I have
woman,
hired
yes.
someone to do that. Just because I think, you know, when you're standing there as a comedian, you're going, this is the funniest show you will ever see. I won't believe you. Whereas if it's somebody I've paid to say that, maybe.
Also, like, it's the successful podcasts are doing well for Diona. You were in Britain's and Ireland's Next Top Model at one stage, weren't you?
I was. A lifetime ago, yeah. Over 10, 12 years ago, I think.
Was that with Elle McPherson?
Elle the Body McPherson.
Elle the Body.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I mean, it wasn't great, if I'm being honest. Those shows are very toxic. All those makeover TV shows that we had years ago, I think they just... When you're on that as a young woman, I think you think, oh my goodness, this is my ticket to like the fashion industry, and it's going to be so exciting afterwards. And it's very clear that they're making a TV show, and it's there for entertainment purposes.
I think there's more duty of care now than there was then.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think that people, it was sort of, it's a sign of the times. You know, I think that's just the way TV was back then. But when I was on it, like I had put a video up recently online about for the first time in 15 years, wore a pair of shorts the other day. And because when I was on that show, comments were made to me by the judges that I only looked good from the waist up. And it traumatised me as a 21-year-old. And I never wore shorts or a skirt or anything since. And I bought my first pair of shorts last week and wore them for the first
On
time.
national television, they did that to you.
Well done
Get the
to
shorts
you.
out. I can't
Well
wait
done
until
to
you invite Elle the Body McPherson on your podcast and go for it as to what happened at that.
I know.
Listen, the show, I just enjoy everything that you do. Honestly,
so
the
kind.
podcasts are so good. They are so funny. A joy to watch. You're going to be in Whelan's Upstairs. That's in Dublin on Sunday, May 25th. Saturday, May 24th, Northern Ireland Cat Laughs Festival. And you're in Belfast on May 31st. You've also got the Girls Group podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
It's
you.
been a joy.
Get
Thanks
your
so
print
much.
back. Thanks, Diona.
Thank
Diona Doherty.
you.